Good morning. So today is November 29th. I hope you all had a great holiday season. I know that I did, and I gained a couple of pounds. So you have to be really careful, right? But hopefully I'll do like a detox and then, scale down whatever it is that I'm eating so that way I can go back to my desired weight. So be mindful of these holiday seasons, especially since we haven't been able to get together. So it's very festive now, and it's I think everybody's in gratitude and really happy, even to see the people that you regularly didn't like to see. So it was very festive, and I had my family, and my son is in from Fort Worth, so super blessed and happy. So I hope that that you all have the same. Okay, so this is daily attendance screenshot for today. Right, for daily attendance, the links are already up. The links for midterms are already up, and I will be giving the instructions on that. You know what? If there's anybody, like somebody, please, if you could timestamp for the classes where, if you could do the timestamps for the classes, because I'm going to talk about the midterms for every single class differently, but I'm going to keep it an all-in-one video. So if somebody could do me the favor, that'd be great. And for those of you who watch YouTube, you guys know what that is. So I know that, I have a lot of efficient students. So if you all could do that for me, that'd be great. Okay, so also we will be having, let me do the general messages first, and then we'll continue with the midterm. So this week is midterm week. Okay. I will be having a Teams meeting now that everything's passed. I'm thinking about tomorrow about 2 o'clock. So I will be putting and posting those up in your calendars for Teams. Okay. You regularly don't get a message for that. It just sort of shows up, but I will be sending through Teams a message saying that they're up, and we'll start tomorrow. I don't know. We'll probably do the English is first, and then your business communication later. It'll probably be a half-hour time slot for your classes. That's going to be sort of like a class. I usually review whatever it is that you've gone through in terms of your homework, and I usually review it and highlight whatever it is that I think is pertinent. Now there is times where I lecture, right, and I discuss whatever is not on the book that I think is pertinent, and so it's a really good time to, come to class and show up for Teams. Not come to class, but show up for Teams, because we do discuss, a lot of stuff that I think is pertinent to specifically to that subject matter. I don't know. I can't seem to talk today. So really important. Okay. What else? I don't know if I think the discussion boards are up in some classes or not. I guess they didn't populate correctly, so I will correct that. Okay, when they uploaded the classes, so I will correct that. Just be mindful if the discussion boards are there to sort of comment on them. But I will review that. I don't remember what it is. If you have any questions or any concerns, just let me know. I think that's it. Okay, so we will be doing midterms this week. Okay, and my Englishes will have till Tuesday midnight to get it done. It's just one chapter. You were already supposed to have read it. Okay, so I will be reviewing what it is that you have to do in this video, if somebody could timestamp that. And then, of course, my business communication had the 10 PowerPoint slides on a multi-billion dollar business, or multi-million dollar business, or multi-billion dollar business. Okay, now and then you had to state, let's do business communication. So business communication was a 10 slide PowerPoint presentation that you're supposed to be doing research on. Okay, the deadline is Wednesday midnight for you to turn in. It has to be a PowerPoint presentation. It can't go into a PDF. Okay, so be mindful the way you upload it, because sometimes it's a PDF, and that really bothers me, because what you're learning is how to present, okay, and how to present and how to navigate through your PowerPoint, okay, through Microsoft. I think it's Microsoft, yeah. And so the whole thing about part of what your skills are going to be with this is to be able to develop a PowerPoint presentation and develop the skills. So that's really important. So you have to do the research, you have to mention what the company does, you have to mention all their financials, net operating expenses, what their profits are, what their losses are. You can only find that if it's a public company, which means that it's traded in it's traded, right? So like in the New York Stock Exchange, or I forget what the other ones are. So only if they are traded are they public. Private companies don't want you to know their stuff, and so you will not have access to any of their finances in any way. Okay, so usually their websites are really good about finding information, who their CEO is, who their CFO is, their chief financial operating officer is, and what it is that they do, what their finances are, and what their vision and mission is. Sometimes my students put in like fun facts about the company. That's really great. You can do some history on it. Who's the one that created it? Who's the one that came up with the idea? You know, it's too bad that we're not together. I had one of my students and he's like, when are we presenting? Are we presenting? You can't present because I don't know how to do that. Not everybody shows up to my team's meetings or my classes. So it's hard for you all to present. It is really beautiful, you know, when you all present, because you can start seeing the patterns of what it takes to have a business, a successful business, because there are specific strategies, patterns, and you know, there's specific traits about successful businesses as well as successful entrepreneurs. Okay, and so it's important to see that. Anyway, and I have a couple of entrepreneurs within my classes that, you know, have side hustles that really work it, and so it's about navigating through the business. So very interesting. So it's you know, it's about information, research, history, financial, and then anything that you want to include, and then, you know, make sure that you understand what kind of pictures to put in. Those are really nice to be able to have a very nice visual on your PowerPoint, and for it to sort of, you know, really go on and you know, and flow easily. Remember to place in your references at the end. Okay, so it's important to do your bibliography at the end. So your first slide will be your introduction, you know, introductory slide in your title page. Make sure that you put your name, your class, you know, and then what the title of the slide is, and then you go through your slides, and then your last slide, your 10 slide minimum, is going to be your bibliography. Make sure that your pictures are pretty, that your colors are nicely, you know, balanced out, and make sure that you don't overwhelm with pictures, because sometimes my students have put in a lot of pictures and it's a very busy slide. It's very pretty, but it's very busy, and you're taking away from whatever it is that you're wanting to present and inform and communicate. Okay, so you have till Wednesday midnight to get that in. If there's any issues, please contact me. If you cannot find information on your business, change the business, because it's very hard to complete a project when you don't have enough information or enough data. So don't get stuck on a specific company if there's not information that you cannot see. It's better to start over and find all this other information on a company that's, you know, very well informed, and you have the information readily available for you to do that. Okay, so next up, we're going to do English 145. Okay, so this is for English 145. We're done with business communication. English 145, you have chapter 3. You know, you were supposed to read it. As with chapter 1 and chapter 2, please do all the activities, go through the chapter, and whatever it is that it asks you, do it. Be mindful, because sometimes in the activities and the chapters, it just sort of tells you that if you were to do that, it doesn't tell you, like I think it was chapter 1 or 2, where it says to create a survey. And so I have students maybe creating a survey. It doesn't say that. It says that if you were to create a survey. So be mindful, read the instructions correctly, and just answer whatever it is that they are asking for. You can copy and paste onto a Word document for your answers, and that would be much easier and faster to do. Okay, and then that way you can upload it as a Word document. Okay, you have till Tuesday in the midnight to turn it in. Go through all the activities and practices. I think that's what it's called. So you have to do the whole chapter 3. Okay, so this concludes English 145. Okay, English 145 for midterm is chapter 3 to do everything in there. And we're going on to English 133. Okay, so English 133 has till Tuesday midnight to complete your task. Okay, and so I'm sorry, it was a hot mess for English 133 last week. I didn't know that we had you know, hard copies, and so I was very confused, and you know, and I didn't get advised on it. So I hope you all, it looks like you all got your hard copies. I apologize for the confusion, but I will tell you something. I was very, very happy because everybody adapted, and you were very flexible about the instructions, and you worked through it. And that's exactly what life is about. It's about being a problem solver, and it's about going through you know, your situation as best as you can, and to be able to find a solution solution to whatever confusion or whatever it is that maybe wasn't explained correctly. I did have some students that reached out, and I thank you for your patience and your flexibility. So for my apologies and my bad on that, okay? So you will be doing chapter 3, and I have the page numbers here. I didn't originally give the page numbers out for your chapter 1 and 2 because they were different. I thought you guys had an online book. So when you guys have an online book and I have a hard copy, it's just really different. Pages and sequential of pages, sequence of pages is very different. So anyway, so chapter 3 is going to be your midterm, and you have till Tuesday midnight. Okay, so you have page 110, 119, 129, and then which is all vocabulary. Okay, so you do the vocabulary 110, on page 119 and 129. That's your vocabulary, and then you do vocabulary enrichment, and then vocabulary enrichment, which is page 130 to 134. And then you go to part 1 and part 2, okay, and do the review. And I don't know what pages that's on, okay? So it's at the end, and it's a review, and do the part 1 and part 2. And then there's, in the vocabulary, page 130 to 134, there's an A-B, assess your learning, okay? So let me review that again. So you have chapter 3, you have page 130, no, you have chapter 3, okay? English 133. I'm so sorry. I thought it was page 133. So you have, so let me start again. Chapter 3, okay? English 133 is page 110, 119, and 129, and that's the vocabulary. And then 130 through 134, you do vocabulary enrichment, and then A-B, assess your learning, and then you do part 1 and part 2 on the review session in the back, okay? I don't know what page that is, and I don't have my book with me, but I'm sure you guys will find it. If anybody finds it, if you could put it down in the comments below, that would be great. Okay, thank you very much. Namaste. Love and light.